Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new video. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about South Korea, about Pakistan, Dubai, China, and obviously what's happening in Iran as well. So without further ado, let's get on with the show. And by the way, you guys know what to do. Like, share, try and watch the video to the end. Really helps the algorithm. So South Korea has made a statement saying they have no choice about America or USA taking their Thaad missiles and Patriot missiles all the way to Israel. So the president of South Korea has just come out saying, "Look, I can't stop them. We have no choice." And the people of South Korea absolutely, you know, shocked, shocked by it all. They all thought, South Korea would be, like a partner to the US, and US would protect South Korea at all costs. But no, guys. I think what this war with Iran has shown, it's shown that America will protect Israel at all costs, and they do not care about any other ally at all. They do not care about any of the Gulf countries. They definitely don't care about the island of Taiwan. They don't care about South Korea or Japan. And all these American bases they have around the world, they're not there to protect these countries. They are there to wage wars of aggression against other countries. So all the military bases they have around Middle East, they've all been set up for over 50 years, and they have set it up strategically over the years. And it's not there to protect the Gulf countries at all. And as you can see from the Iran war, they are using these bases, all of them, to attack Iran. Same reason all these NATO bases are all around Russia, and they are looking to attack Russia at any given moment. And the same goes in Asia as well. They have American bases all surrounding China. They have dozens of bases in the Philippines, few bases in South Korea, a few bases in Japan. They have bases everywhere surrounding China, basically. So you see, when the time comes, obviously that time has come in the Middle East, and America has shown its cards. It's all about Israel. America is going to war for Israel, and they will protect Israel at all costs. All the anti-guns, all the missiles have been taken from the Gulf countries, and they've been all placed in Israel to protect Israel. So the Saudi Arabian minister has come out to say that all all this time, for the last 35, 40 years, we thought Americans were protecting us, but it seems like we are protecting them. We are protecting their bases, we are protecting their soldiers, and they are doing nothing for us. Literally, they're absolutely doing nothing. And this is a message being sent out to all the Asians who are hosting military bases. You are not there to be protected by the United States. You are basically targets. So imagine if America launches a war with China in the near future. What do you think will happen to South Korea, Japan, Philippines, and Australia, Papua New Guinea? All these countries that have American military bases, they will all be targets because those countries would be doing intelligence. They'll be obviously uh, there'll be flights going in and out of there, whether it's refueling, whether it's attacking China. They'll be doing reconnaissance. Those bases are all going to be used to basically attack China one way or other. So they're all going to be targets. The same way Iran is attacking countries hosting American bases. Same thing's going to happen in Asia. And you can see in the Middle East, you can see that even though Saudi Arabia is denying it, Saudi Arabia's airspace is used to attack Iran. They're using the airspace for refueling jets or reconnaissance or intelligence. And even if that country is holding an American radar installation, that is still a target because those radar installations is still contributing to the war. So you see, guys, this is a massive, massive lesson to Asia. And I think South Korea is learning this lesson very hard. And South Korea is slowly understanding that they have no allies. They think they're friends with America, but America is basically using them or will be using them in a future war with China. Because I read somewhere that, South Korea doesn't even have control over its army. America has full control over its army. So if there's a war scenario, America will take over all the military bases in South Korea and they will take over command of all the army in South Korea. That's the agreement they have with America. It's a bad deal, to be honest, because what it sounds like is they're going to use all the South Koreans as cannon fodder against China. So it's a shame, really, because South Korea has always been a country that's occupied. Obviously, before the Second World War, South Korea was occupied by Japan, and they used Koreans to fight China, and or they used Korea as a base to invade China. They used Korean women as comfort women. So then, after the Second World War, after the Japanese got drove out, instead of South Korea having its own sovereignty, like the North Koreans have complete sovereignty, by the way. But the South Korea, instead of having their own sovereignty, they gave up their sovereignty to the Americans, and they are literally like there's no difference between the Americans and the Japanese. They're literally slaves to the Americans. South Korea has been used as a tool for American, how would you say, social experiments. So there's no secret that South Korea has the lowest birth rates in the world. I think it's 0.79 or something like that. It's lower than Japan, lower than any other country in the world, the lowest. And America has basically using South Korea. They've placed South Korea in so much debt. Each citizen in South Korea, they're literally under so much heavy debt. They all have to work 2, 3 jobs. And I'm hearing stories about South Koreans how they collapse and die because they are literally overworked and overstressed. And literally one day they're walking, next day they're just collapsing and dying on the street, on the trains. People are committing suicide in Korea as well. It's absolutely crazy, crazy society. And South Korea is also has been a social experiment for America as well. So all this woke nonsense you see in America, all this feminism and all these other isms, it's all been it all started in South Korea. They've all been using it on South Korea. And this feminism thing started in South Korea way before it started in America. And you can see the results. Now, y- you know, nobody wants to have kids. Nobody wants to get married. Um, and the birth rate's just falling. And I've also noticed the Israelis have taken control of South Korea as well. There's a lot of Zionists around. There's a lot of Koreans walking around with Israeli flags. Lots of Koreans converting to Christian Zionists. And it's a completely brainwashed country. And I'm talking about South Korea here, guys. And they need to snap out of it. They need to snap out of it very, very quickly if they want to survive. And I think that if this is a wake-up call for the South Koreans, I think you guys need to have your own sovereignty. And the way you can do that is you get rid of every American aspects of your society, or get rid of all the woke nonsense, feminism, everything that destroys society. OnlyFans, whatever whatever you can. Get rid of American bases. Um, get rid of any American influence in your country, and focus on reunifying with North Korea. And if you do reunify with North Korea, that you can. There are systems in place where you can both have your own sovereignty. For example, China has it with Hong Kong. You got the one country, two systems, and you can do something like that in Korea. You know, at the end of the day, what you need to do is, this is a big lesson for South Korea. If you hang around with America, you let them use you in every single way. Use you financially. They use you politically. They use you, militarily. They use you socially. In every single way, they are corrupting Korean society. And if you stay as you are, this is going to be the end of Korea, because you are literally surrounded. And if there's ever a war in the future, an American war with China, you are going to be on the front lines of any attack, because you are literally going to be cannon fodder. You're surrounded by, China, Russia, North Korea. All these countries will join in any attack with the United States. And this is going to be the end of South Korea. So, so for South Korea to survive, there's only one solution, guys, and that is to reunify with the North. Have friendly relations with China, with Russia, and leave the West. That is the only solution. That is the only way South Korea will survive. If you stay with America, you will see America will abandon you, and you'll just be cannon fodder for them, and it will be the end of Korea. People need to wake up. Koreans are probably some of the most brainwashed people in society in the world, and they really need to wake up and see the reality. And if this is not reality, then I cannot see how they can ever wake up, to be honest. So yeah, I spoke about this in a few videos ago. That one of the reasons that Korea and China didn't get along was because of these Thaad missiles. And Korea probably lost hundreds of billions worth of money from China, because when they placed these Thaad missiles, it caused an international incident. And China decided to kick out all these Korean companies, including Lotte and many other Korean companies. People boycotted Korean products. And this pushed China to become more independent. So instead of buying stuff from Korea, they started, manufacturing their own. And now you see, things are different now. China is the biggest manufacturer in the world. They don't really need to buy anything from Korea anymore. And Korea has been suffering as a result. All this because of the Thaad missiles. And guess what? America is now taking these same Thaad missiles that caused all this international incidents. So you basically, all of that happened for no reason. And South Korea lost hundreds of billions for no reason whatsoever. So South Korea needs to wake up, guys, sooner rather than later. And you can see, how corrupt the South Korean society is. The last president who's been impeached, who's in prison right now. The new guy seems to be okay. The last guy was terrible, absolutely terrible. He was obviously placed to basically cause frictions with China. He was only in power because of his anti-Chinese views, and they put him in power, and he was absolutely corrupt by it. He was absolutely cringeworthy as well. He started singing for Biden and everything. Oh my God, that is so embarrassing. Embarrassing little puppet. Anyway, let's move on to the next story. Oh yeah, so This is a picture of the Thaad missile systems being dismantled in Korea, by the way. So this story I was going to talk about is basically Pakistan and Saudi Arabia have an alliance, and so if if Saudi Arabia goes to war, Pakistan has to join Saudi Arabia and protect it at all costs. So the question is, if Saudi Arabia goes to war with Iran, their Muslim brothers, will Pakistan join in with Saudi Arabia and start fighting Iran? So you're going to have a literally a Muslim war, Muslims fighting Muslims in the Middle East. At the moment, it looks unlikely, but let's just say, I'm just giving an example. Let's just say the Mossad starts blowing up oil facilities all across Saudi Arabia, and they start blowing up the palace where MBS stays. MBS doesn't get killed, but Mossad basically blames Iran for it. So imagine if Saudi Arabia starts getting dragged into the war with Iran, then will Pakistan join in? Because Pakistan's got nuclear weapons, don't forget. I think they might, to be honest. I think they might, because the problem with Pakistan, right? You know, I love the Pakistani people. I mean, Mrs. is Pakistani, and but the problem is Pakistan is extremely corrupt, guys, and he's been corrupt for a long time. And I support Imran Khan. When Imran Khan was there, he was, he seemed to me like a good man, honest, and sometimes a bit too honest. And this is why he's in prison because they don't like it. And the current regime in Pakistan, they're extremely corrupt. The president, Shehbaz Sharif, he was wanted in Pakistan um, for fraud and money laundering and stuff like that. And he's got dozens of properties in England, in London. Like he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. So he was corrupt. His whole family was corrupt, and he was asked to go to Pakistan to do like a hearing for his corruption, and he never went there. He was staying in London with his family, and obviously they were living a good life in London. All that money. Then they took out Imran Khan. Obviously, it was a CIA inside job, and they didn't like Imran Khan basically being too sovereign, too honest, and he was a good leader, and Americans didn't like that, so they got rid of him. Obviously, Americans and CIA had a lot to do with it. And who did they put in charge? They put the most corrupt guy in charge, which is Mr. Sharif. And he comes in, and he is completely up Trump's backside, guys, completely. And you can see from some of his speeches he makes to Trump, literally, his nose is so far up Trump's behind, is unbelievable. Absolutely cringy, some of the words he used to say. He used to kind of he's also in Trump's board of peace. And I remember when Imran Khan was in power, and they asked Imran Khan to bomb Afghanistan, and Imran Khan refused. He says, "I am not bombing my fellow Muslim brothers." And everybody agreed with him. Why should Pakistan bomb another Muslim country on behalf of the Americans? So they got rid of him, and this new guy comes in. And what does the new guy do? Starts bombing Afghanistan. And do you remember there was a short war a few weeks ago between Pakistan and Afghanistan? Well, back then, when they used to bomb Afghanistan, Afghanistan was quite weak, and they used to bomb Afghanistan and get away with it. They used to do lots of drone attacks in Afghanistan on behalf of America, obviously, and they used to get away with it because Afghanistan never used to fight back. But now Afghanistan is actually quite powerful. They have all these weapons from America. Plus, they've been buying a lot of weapons from China. China's obviously been helping Afghanistan build a defense as well. And then Pakistan had the biggest shock of their lives. They attacked Afghanistan on behalf of Trump because Trump wanted that base again. I think there's a base that America left in Afghanistan, a massive base. Can't remember what it's called now. But yeah, there was a massive base that America left in Afghanistan, and Trump wanted that back. So he told Pakistan to attack Afghanistan and try and get that base back. And guess what? They started attacking Afghanistan. But Afghanistan this time didn't take it. They actually fought back. They fought back quite hard as well. And they fought back so hard that Pakistan had to call it quits, had to stop the war because it was causing too many casualties and they didn't want it to escalate. And this was just before the Iran war. And I think Pakistan, there's major problems, not just with the military and the government, but also, there's a lot of Chinese investment into Pakistan as well. You guys might have heard of the CPAC, which is the Belt and Road, but in Pakistan. So there was supposed to be a rail line or infrastructure going all the way from China, going all the way to Gwadar Port. Gwadar Port is right next to Iran. So imagine if that port was open, it would have been so useful for China. They would have, been able to send, oil back and forth, you know, directly into China if that port was open, if there was a train line available, which gives direct access to China. So China put a lot of money into Pakistan, I think over 100 billion. And because Pakistan is so corrupt, they still haven't finished the projects. And China's not been very happy with Pakistan. They keep getting money from IMF loans and stuff like that. And when you go to the IMF to get loans, you know, you basically become a slave to the IMF and the Americans. You have to abide by lots of rules and regulations. So what Pakistan did was they sold off as part of the IMF loans or part of the loans they gave the Americans gave. They sold off parts of Gwadar port to the Americans, and China is obviously not happy about it. And yeah, so it's caused a lot of frictions behind the scenes, and that's why you don't hear much about the CPEC Pakistani China friendship anymore. You heard a lot about it 10 years ago, but now everything seems to be on hold. And it's on hold because Pakistan's run out of money. All the money that China gave to Pakistan to build these infrastructure projects. I think 80% of it is complete, but there's still 20% that's still waiting. And Pakistan's literally run out of money. And China's given Pakistan a lot of loans and stuff like that. And and Pakistan just keeps asking for money. And that's the thing, guys. They keep asking for money, but not producing any results. And this is why China stopped giving money to Pakistan now. And that's why you don't hear much about the Belt and Road. So there is a lot of issues. Plus, lots of Chinese workers are dying in Pakistan with terror attacks as well. And obviously, it's happening in Pakistani soil. So Pakistan obviously needs to take responsibility, but they're not taking responsibility, guys. And the Chinese workers in Pakistan, they do not feel safe. And it keeps happening. I think these are from Balochistan separatists and things like that. But Pakistan really needs to do more to safeguard the safety of Chinese workers. So yeah, that's the story with Pakistan, guys. I'm not sure about Pakistan. Obviously, I love the country, but just the people in power. Um, yeah, I just don't trust them, to be honest. Okay, guys, so let's move on to the next story. So this is the video of Dubai, and you can see people are leaving Dubai. So if you guys know about Dubai, only 10% or 15% of the residents are local residents, which are Emirati residents. But 85% of them are foreigners who come to Dubai to stay as residents or long-term visas or workers or migrant workers. You get a lot of obviously influencers coming in, you get a lot of crypto bros coming in, you get a lot of OnlyFans models coming in. So it's become a land of sin. It's almost like it's like a Muslim Las Vegas, to be honest. Anybody that's gone to Dubai will know what I'm talking about. It's basically a land of prostitutes, guys. Because I mean, I went there with my friends a few years ago, and yeah, we went to this club, and this club was just it was just a normal club, right? But it was just full of prostitutes. Absolutely, there was not even one like ordinary woman there. They were literally all of them were prostitutes, and they were all coming up to you, and they were all coming up to you, and they were basically saying, do you want some business? And these are my rates." Literally, it's just shocking in a Muslim country that you see that. Then you hear stories about all these OnlyFans models and what they do with sheikhs. Obviously, the sheikhs pay them a lot of money, and they do some really disgusting stuff with them. I can't talk about it on YouTube, but you guys can do some research on what stuff they do. Absolutely disgusting. So yeah, it's basically the city of sin, guys. Dubai. You see, it's a city of sin because it's just full of foreigners and expats in there, and there's no real culture or there's no you don't feel there's sense of history or culture when you go there, and it's just a city of sin. And that's the problem with Dubai. I think the Muslim rulers have basically sold their soul to the devil. They obviously like instead of you know following Islam, they've decided to worship money and OF models and prostitutes, basically. And this is why nobody really respects Dubai, and I think the Muslims don't really see Dubai as a Muslim country because you can literally do whatever you want when you go there, and yeah, it's just a crazy city, guys. So I spoke to a lot of Muslim friends, and they all pretty much have no sympathy for Dubai at all. Dubai has not only sold off their soul to the devil, they've also sold their souls to the Israelis, to the Americans. They allowed American bases to be there. They allow Israelis to be there. Basically, a lot of Israelis are in Dubai running, making money, basically, huge money from Dubai, running massive businesses. And they have a lot of sway on how Dubai works and how the foreign policy and things like that. And Dubai has been doing a lot of bad stuff when it comes to foreign policy. They've been pushing for regime changes in Syria, Sudan, and many other Muslim countries. So Dubai has been doing some really, really bad stuff around the world. And right now, they're hosting American military bases, and these military bases are obviously being used to attack Iran. So instead of getting rid of these American military bases, Dubai is just doubling down. And I think Dubai, the problem with Dubai is they have all these shiny buildings in Dubai. They have, obviously the Burj Khalifa and many other shiny tall buildings. They made a big mistake that they thought they were safe. They thought they were the safe haven in the Middle East. And this safe haven is basically what brings in all the tourists in Dubai. But that safe haven has been shattered, absolutely shattered. Dubai is no longer safe, and people know that. When there's a war in the region, America is not going to protect you. And it looks like Dubai is going to be used as some sort of proxy again to fight Iran, fight other countries in the Middle East, and it's definitely not safe. And there was a time when Dubai was involved in fighting Yemen. But Yemen was too far away to hit any Dubai oil installations. But Yemen did hit a lot of, Saudi oil installations. And eventually, after 10 years, that war stopped. But Dubai didn't get hit because Dubai was too far away from Yemen. But now they are right in the, you know, they are right next to Iran. And if there is a full-blown war between Iran and Dubai, Dubai would be destroyed. All of their shiny buildings would come down in a couple of hypersonic missiles, and the whole city would be gone in matter of weeks. In the 70s, Dubai was just desert, you know, and I think if things escalate between Dubai and Iran, the city will go back to being a desert all over again. The desert will eventually swallow it up. And there's no sympathy, guys. There's no sympathy because at the end of the day, if you really want to be neutral as a country, do not host American bases. If you cannot host any American bases and you cannot, allow Americans to run your foreign policy, you cannot have Israelis running your foreign policy. You cannot allow them to start wars in your vicinity and getting you involved. Absolutely bad management from Dubai. Absolutely bad management. So you have no sympathy, guys. So you have all these people leaving now Dubai, and if 80%, if 85% of people are foreigners, expats, and temporary residents and worker visas and stuff, let's just say 50% leave. That would cause a major impact in Dubai. The property, prices will collapse. Tourism will collapse. And tourism and property are probably two of the main sectors of Dubai making money. So if property collapses, people start leaving. Obviously, tourism is going to collapse because no tourist is going to come to Dubai anymore because they're not going to feel safe. And also Iran is blowing up all of data centers in Dubai as well. So all of these Amazon, Google, Microsoft data centers all across Dubai are being blown up by Iran, and yeah, so you're gonna get all these businesses moving out of Dubai as well. So yeah, Dubai's finished, guys. I think it's finished. There's no coming back from all of this, all because they hosted American bases in that country. Was it worth it? You've got to ask yourself: is it really worth it having an American base in your country and causing all these issues? It's not, is it? Anyway, that's all I have time for, guys. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care for now.